Five, four, three, two, one, and glow. What's up, glowers? Welcome to another edition of What's Glowing On. And what is glowing on, Gillum? Let's talk about it. Let's get into it really quick. So, you all know that usually I do not do gossip. I am not a big fan of a gossip commentary channel. However, there are a couple that I do like. I do find King of Reeds to be amazing and to be just really spot on. I love For Harriet. And I wouldn't say they're always just gossip, but sometimes it's just social media commentary, which I really like as well. And I think that there are a lot of teachable moments that do need to be shared and kind of talked through. I love Tanya TKO also. And I wanted to officially give an apology when I was responding to a couple of other viewers on when she broke this story about Andrew Gillum. I did mention that I was going to do something on my own channel, and she made a comment about not stealing, her shine from her viewers. So I do want to officially apologize and just say that was not my intention, but I definitely understand how it can be taken that way. At any rate, I want to get right into it. And before I do, I want to officially send out a message of prayer and love and upliftment for R'Jai Gillum, Andrew Gillum's wife. I knew RJ when I went to school at Florida A&M. I knew both of them actually, but I more so knew RJ. I shared we stayed in conjoined halls. I was at Wheatley. I think she was at Diamond. Our freshman years, and just knew her all around campus. She was a light. She is elegant. She's articulate. She's beautiful. She's magnetic. Just everything is appealing about her. And I just want to also take a moment to weigh in. There's a lot of speculation about whether, she knew RJ, whether she knew Andrew was into this lifestyle, whether RJ was like super ambitious and kind of like a step for a wife type of situation. And I will say, from what I knew of her, I do not think there's any merit to that belief or that idea that she would be complicit in the manipulation of anyone in regards to her husband's sexuality for a check. And that is, and if I have to eat those words, I will eat them. I'm on a diet right now, or I am cleaning up my my intake nutritionally. But if I have to eat those words, I eat them. But I totally don't believe that from what I knew of her. She was just really authentic. She was authentic. She was sincere, and she was just absolutely beautiful, bright, just successful and very motivated young woman. But she never came off to me as being shady, as being manipulative, of being kind of blindly ambitious, of being self-serving or anything like that. That kind of goes hand in hand. Doing it for love, I don't know, maybe, but quite honestly, if I can take a real moment, I'm surprised that either one of them married African American people. Quite honestly, I didn't see him as, many others said they saw him as being like kind of into the white men, but I definitely thought, okay, a white woman made sense for him, and I definitely thought a white man made sense for her. So, but I digress. Like I said, I got married while I was also, many of you know a little bit of my story. I got married while I was at FAMU. I got married in college my senior year. So I will say this, if things did happen, my senior year and my end of my junior year, which was like the most part of when we were planning the wedding, going to my senior year, it would have flown right over my head, right? The radar, I just would have missed it because my focus was hurrying up and getting out of there. I started out broadcast journalism. That's why me and RJ were in the same class. Then I went over to newspaper journalism, and then print, and then I went over to magazine production as my concentration, just because I was trying to hurry up and finish up these hours. Being married was the only thing. I was worried about becoming a Mrs. So that was it. But I will say this. which brings me to my point number 2 or 3. Point number 2. So when I just moved back to Florida, because I moved back to Florida, like I said, about a decade ago. And a friend of mine who had stayed in Tallahassee actually to pursue her PhD, she was now living in Broward, and we had moved to Miami, and so we had kind of reconnected by the way of, my cousin and her little sister. But at any rate, she called me up and she said, hey, you went to school with, you won't believe who I ran into I think it was at a salon. I want to say it was a nail salon, and I was just like, who? And she said, well, apparently, you guys were in school together, because she knew who you were, maybe vaguely, but she knew who you were. And I was really trying to put it together, because there weren't too many people from Florida that I knew that had moved back to Florida. Like, I just didn't know too many people that had. I knew a couple of people, and I ended up actually running into them when I was training, former roommates. But outside of them, I'm like, well, I'm pretty much okay. I'm pretty in touch with them, so who could it be? And she said, well, it's somebody that married like a really high-ranking official. He's going to be the mayor. He is the mayor of Tallahassee. And I was just like, who? Wow, I don't know. Who would that be? And she said, R'Jai. And I was like, married who? And she said, Andrew Gillum. And I was just like, that name just does not ring a bell. And then she said, oh, he was he was a Yes We Gay member. And I was like, oh, he was in the SGA? And she said, yeah. And I said, that may be why, because, my junior and senior year, I just wasn't checking for who was involved in those organizations. I was concentrated on finishing out my tenure as editor-in-chief of our campus magazine, Journey, and that was it. And the only reason why I even interacted with SGA was because my actual senior year, they cut our budget. So I kind of purposely just stopped checking for SGA. They cut our budget, so I had to, in turn, cut our managing editor, because I had to keep our graphic editor on, who also is from South Florida. So, hey, shout out to Novia Knight. So, brings me to my third point of, did FAMU know? Was he out and about and active and twirling fabulously then? So when he was running, the reason why this story also interested me, because he ran for, of course, the governor of Florida. And when he ran for the governor of Florida, there was a party put on by the opposing party, which was the Republican Party, that I was invited to as an elected official. So as you all know, I am a councilwoman here in Coconut Grove, Miami, Florida, the beautiful and historical Coconut Grove. And I was invited to a party, or an event rather. There was food and all, but there was much more conversation than there was food. And a couple of the brothers pulled me to the side, and they inquired about whether I knew of Andrew's lifestyle prior to him becoming mayor in Tallahassee. They were like, well, hey, what's up? You went to school with him, right? You went to FAM. You were in Tallahassee. And I was just like, I knew that he was on SGA, but I just want to say this, and I'm not saying this to be nasty. I'm not saying this to be funny. You can take it however way you want to take it. But Andrew was really a non-factor when I was at Florida A&M. And like I said, I definitely was distracted. I definitely was, totally about getting married and just hurrying up and finishing out my time there at FAMU. Though I love FAMU, I was definitely in a hurry to kind of just, I had tunnel vision. But, I said, well, I know he was a member of Yes We Gay, and I used the term as well. But I said, but straight punk? Straight gay? And they were like, oh, yeah. I'm surprised you didn't know. And because we had people that came in years after him, and like they knew because he had set the precedent. I said, well, maybe that's why I didn't, because I was, if I'm not mistaken, I believe I'm a class ahead of him, or a year ahead of him, as is R'Jai, because like I said, I was in class with her. But maybe that's why I missed it. But I didn't. But I knew that SGA was. I knew that there were a lot of SGA members that were, of the life. And are the lifestyle. And I knew he was a member of SGA, but I just wasn't thinking at the time that that was just a grand sweep. Like, grand sweep. Like I said, I thought at best, you know, he was into white girls, because there were a couple of other SGA members that, you know, were definitely into white girls, and some even married, of course, white girls. Not to say that they aren't also, but that's what type of vibe I felt Andrew was on. And quite honestly, that's what type of vibe I felt, you know, RJ was on as well. And I didn't see them together. Like, in hindsight, I might have heard or might have realized, but that's why I said when my friend called me up back in, I think it was 2009, like I said, it was when I had just moved down here, and told me that, you know, she was married to him. I was just like, that's honestly weird. I'm really surprised, because I'm honestly surprised because I never even saw her and him, like, I never even knew they were dating. And trust me, at FAMU, like I said, I got married in college, and I was not a unique story. I knew a couple of people that, you know, a couple of people that just coupled up immediately. You know, we walked in as freshmen, and we walked out as Mrs. And it was like myself and maybe about literally four of the people from my hall, you know. And one girl, actually, she got married and they left school and they re-enrolled somewhere together. So those were type of things that stuck out to me. Like, those type of stories stuck out to me. I remember going to a party, a frat party, and it was very poorly attended. And like, literally, the couple got together that night, and they were inseparable for the rest of the time we were at FAMU, and they're still together. Y'all know I'm divorced, so I can't say what happened to the rest of those couples, but I will say this, once again, like, I never knew that they were together, but just my condolences and my heart goes out to RJ, because when you know, you never think anybody deserves it, right? Like, nobody, you don't want to think of anybody deserving to be embarrassed or to be ridiculed for something like this. But when I tell you, that's my vision board, right? When I tell you she didn't deserve this. From what I knew of her, she just was not the type of person to she wasn't the type of person that she fell down the stairs you would laugh. You know, you would want to help her. She was pleasant, she was sincere, she was kind. She deserved an honest, good, God-fearing man, period. Not someone that would do something like this to her. So I just wanted to take this moment also to share a couple of pictures of my time at FAMU. Ooh. Wow, because y'all had me going down memory lane. That's me and my girl. I'm going to put my hand over her face, but that is Jen A. Okay, that was right in front of the library. All right. This was one of my favorites also. Yeah, I can't believe I'm doing this walk down memory lane. Yeah, your girl was getting it. Y'all see. Y'all know what time it is. Yes, working it. That was in front of the old orange room. Okay, and this is my last one. That is graduation. That's my dad and my grandmother, who was the mayor of Daytona. So that's my FAMU walk down memory lane time. Another reason why, ladies, and I'm going to follow up with another video, but it is time. It's time we burn this cape, and it's time we should definitely start with this one. We're going to burn capes. Yes. We're going to burn capes. We're going to have a cape burning party, you know. Y'all, this was a doozy. But until next time, y'all know what to do. My cat she's about to jump into this shot. Y'all know what to do. Until next time, like, subscribe, and share, and glow up.